Good news has a very different feeling when it comes quietly, not through noise or pressure, but through a deep sense of calm that suddenly touches your heart. This message reaches you in that exact moment, when your spirit has been searching for reassurance, not excitement, not fear, but gentle confirmation that you are not forgotten and that your journey is still unfolding with purpose. There are seasons in life when nothing seems to move on the surface, yet something powerful is being prepared beneath it. You may have felt like you have been waiting longer than others, praying silently, carrying responsibilities, staying strong even when answers felt delayed. This message is not here to rush you. It is here to remind you that timing is sacred, and what is meant for you arrives when your heart is ready to receive it. Sometimes miracles do not arrive as dramatic events. They come as clarity, as peace, as a shift in understanding. They arrive when confusion begins to soften, when heaviness lifts just enough for hope to breathe again. If you have been feeling a quiet change inside recently, a subtle sense that something is aligning, that is not random. That is awareness growing. God often works through stillness before movement, through patience before reward, through growth before blessing. You may not have seen visible results yet, but inside you, strength has been forming. Wisdom has been settling. Faith has been maturing. These are not small things. They are foundations. This message is not about instant outcomes. It is about recognition. Recognition that your perseverance matters. That your prayers were heard, even the ones you whispered when no one else was listening. That your kindness, your restraint, your ability to keep going without applause has meaning beyond what you can see right now. If you have been questioning your path, wondering if you should keep going the same way or change direction, this is a moment to pause, not rush. Clarity comes when the mind slows and the heart listens. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be to understand what comes next. Miracles often begin as internal shifts before external changes. When peace replaces anxiety. When trust replaces overthinking. When acceptance replaces resistance. These moments prepare you to receive what aligns with your highest good, not just what you desire temporarily. You were not meant to carry everything alone. Even when it felt like you had to, guidance was still present, shaping you quietly. What you are stepping into next will require the version of you that you have become, not the one you were before. That is why the wait mattered. Take this message as reassurance, not urgency. As confirmation, not pressure. As calm direction, not demand. Let it settle. Let it remind you that your life is not random, and your future is not uncertain. It is unfolding with intention. There are moments in life when silence itself begins to speak. Not the silence of emptiness, but the silence that comes when your soul has carried enough questions and is finally ready for understanding. This is one of those moments. Nothing needs to be forced right now. Nothing needs to be chased. What is meant to unfold will do so naturally, as long as you remain present and open. You may have noticed that lately your perspective has been changing. Things that once triggered you no longer hold the same power. Situations that once demanded reaction now invite reflection instead. This is not weakness. This is growth. This is the quiet strengthening of your inner foundation. When God prepares someone for a miracle, He often prepares their mindset first, so they can recognize the blessing when it arrives. Sometimes you wonder why your journey looks different from others. Why your progress feels slower, or why your path feels heavier. But the truth is, deeper callings require deeper preparation. Not everything is meant to be rushed. Some blessings need space, maturity, and inner stability to be sustained. What you are becoming is just as important as what you are about to receive. You have carried responsibilities with patience. You have shown restraint where others reacted impulsively. You have chosen understanding where resentment could have grown. These choices matter. Even when no one acknowledged them, they were shaping you. Every moment of self-control, every silent prayer, every time you chose peace over chaos added strength to your spirit. Miracles do not always arrive as sudden external changes. Often they arrive as alignment. When the right people begin to appear. When confusion begins to clear. When decisions feel lighter instead of forced. If you are noticing small signs of clarity, moments of calm, or renewed hope, do not dismiss them. These are signals that something is shifting internally, preparing the way forward. There is also a lesson in trust unfolding here. Trust does not mean knowing every outcome. It means believing that even without full visibility, you are being guided. When you stop fighting uncertainty and start cooperating with it, wisdom begins to surface. That is where peace lives. Not in control, but in surrender with awareness. You are not meant to have all the answers today. You are meant to stay grounded today. The next step will reveal itself when it is needed, not before. Life unfolds layer by layer, and each layer reveals exactly what you can handle at that moment. This is not delay. This is divine pacing. If your heart has been tired, allow it to rest here. Not in distraction, but in reassurance. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. Everything that has shaped you so far is preparing you for something meaningful, something aligned, something that fits the person you have become. Let this part of the message settle without urgency. Without expectation. Just awareness. When the mind relaxes, clarity rises naturally. When the heart feels safe, guidance becomes clearer. This is not the end of the message. It is a deepening of it. As this message continues, allow yourself to slow down internally. Not because something is wrong, but because something meaningful is aligning. There is a difference between rushing through life and moving with awareness. Right now, awareness matters more than speed. What is unfolding is subtle, and subtle things require presence to be fully understood. You may notice that your thoughts have become deeper recently. Not louder, but more reflective. Questions about purpose, direction, and meaning may surface quietly, especially during moments when the world around you becomes still. This is not confusion. This is your inner self asking for truth instead of distraction. When growth begins, the soul seeks clarity, not noise. Many people mistake peace for the absence of problems, but true peace is the ability to remain grounded even when answers are still forming. You are learning this balance. You are learning how to stand steady without forcing outcomes. This is not something everyone can do, and it is not something that happens accidentally. It develops through patience, lived experience, and trust. There were times when you felt misunderstood, even by those closest to you. Times when explaining yourself felt exhausting, so you chose silence instead. That silence was not weakness. It was wisdom protecting your energy. Not every truth needs to be defended. Some truths simply need to be lived. Over time, clarity speaks louder than explanation ever could. What you are experiencing now is a refinement of priorities. Things that once seemed urgent may feel less important. Things that once felt distant may suddenly feel meaningful. This shift is not random. It is alignment. When your inner values begin to match your outer actions, life starts flowing with less resistance. You may also feel moments of emotional release without a clear reason. A deep breath that feels heavier than usual. A quiet moment where old memories surface, not to hurt you, but to be acknowledged and released. Healing does not always come with dramatic signs. Sometimes it arrives as understanding, allowing you to let go without bitterness. Remember, growth does not always feel like progress. Sometimes it feels like shedding. Letting go of identities that no longer fit. Releasing expectations that were placed on you by others. Accepting that your path does not need validation to be real. This acceptance is powerful. It creates space for something more authentic to emerge. You are being invited into a calmer way of living. One where decisions are made with intention instead of pressure. One where listening matters more than reacting. One where trust replaces constant overthinking. This does not mean challenges will disappear, but it does mean you will face them with a stronger inner foundation. If you have been waiting for a sign that you are moving in the right direction, let this be reassurance. Not because everything is clear yet, but because you are becoming the kind of person who can handle clarity when it arrives. Preparation often looks quiet from the outside, but inside, it is transformative. Allow yourself to stay with this feeling. Do not rush to label it or analyze it too quickly. Let it settle. Let it teach you. Sometimes the most important messages are not meant to be consumed quickly, but absorbed slowly, so they can shape the way you see yourself and the world around you. As this message reaches its final movement, take a moment to notice how your inner state feels right now. Not your thoughts, not your plans, but the quiet awareness beneath them. That calm presence has always been within you, even during moments when life felt loud or uncertain. What has changed is not the world around you, but your ability to remain connected to yourself while moving through it. There is a deeper maturity forming in you. Not the kind that hardens the heart, but the kind that softens judgment and strengthens understanding. You are beginning to realize that every experience, even the confusing ones, carried a lesson meant to shape your perspective rather than limit your future. This realization is powerful because it transforms the past into wisdom instead of weight. You may notice that you no longer seek validation the way you once did. Approval feels less necessary. Comparison feels less tempting. This does not mean you have withdrawn from life, it means you have anchored yourself within it. When you stop measuring your worth through external reactions, your confidence becomes quiet, stable, and unshakable. There were moments when patience felt like delay, when waiting felt like loss. But now you are starting to see that timing is not punishment, it is protection. Some things could not arrive earlier because you were still becoming the person capable of holding them with grace. Growth prepares the container before the blessing fills it. Your heart has learned empathy through experience. You understand people differently now, not through assumptions, but through awareness. You know what it means to struggle silently, to hope quietly, to endure without announcement. This understanding makes you gentler, not weaker. Strength expressed through compassion lasts longer than strength expressed through force. You are also learning discernment. Knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Knowing when to act and when to wait. Knowing when something is aligned and when it simply demands attention. Discernment is not hesitation, it is wisdom choosing depth over impulse. This skill will guide you well in the seasons ahead. Peace is becoming less dependent on circumstances. Even when answers are still forming, you feel less urgency to control outcomes. This does not mean you have stopped caring. It means you trust that clarity unfolds step by step, not all at once. Trust allows progress without pressure. As you move forward, remember this: your journey does not need to resemble anyone else's to be meaningful. What matters is integrity, intention, and alignment with what feels true at the core of who you are. When actions reflect inner truth, life responds with flow, rather than resistance. If there are still moments of doubt, let them pass without judgment. Doubt does not cancel growth, it simply reminds you that you are human. What matters is not the absence of uncertainty, but the presence of faith that understanding will arrive when needed. Allow yourself to rest in this awareness. You are not behind. You are not missing something essential. You are exactly where learning meets readiness. From this place, movement becomes natural, decisions become clearer, and peace becomes sustainable rather than temporary. This message was not meant to rush you or push you. It was meant to remind you that calm reflection is also progress, that stillness can be purposeful, and that trust is not passive, it is active alignment with a deeper wisdom already guiding you. Before you move on, take a few seconds to reflect on what this message brought up for you. If it resonated with your journey, stay connected here for the next message, because clarity often comes in layers, not all at once. Allow yourself the space to receive what is unfolding.